We'll let people filter in here. Um, it's got to be a way to see the chat. There we go. Maybe if I... How do we get the chat to pop up while we're doing something? Somebody say something. So, oh yeah, there we go. So all messages should be visible now. Somebody say something. There we go. VSO Notification Squad. Thank you for Astro. 4x4. Yeah, roll it in, folks. Roll it in. Yep. Do I sound okay? I can't tell. Um, my place is located like right next to the main road, and I didn't think about this because the structure is made of, solid concrete. I didn't think that this would be a problem, but sitting outside, it is a problem. It's rather loud, but hopefully there won't be too much car noise, on a Saturday in the middle of the day. Usually the really tough times are when we are dealing with like rush hour. I try not to film during rush hour when I'm at the shop because um, even down in the vault, it's loud. And what it comes down to is there's a curve right here. There's a long straightaway, and all the bikes like to race up that straightaway. And then there's a curve right there, and somebody says the quality is a little bit low. I'll go ahead and move a little bit closer to the building here. Um, Maybe a little bit better signal. You can watch it on VOD though. Um, trying to sit outside. Trying to sit outside to do something. You know, what are you going to do? You can either sit in the inside, or you can sit outside on a beautiful day like this and record. So it'll be better on uh, on record. But the problem with the sound a lot of times is there's a curve right there, and we have a lot of oil gas in our area. And what happens is the trucks will jake brake, and it's super loud. So during that period of the day, I try my best not to film anything. It's good inside my office. I have a pretty good microphone that's really good. Um, uh, it's pretty good as far as you know excluding the other sound. Somebody asked how hot it was. I believe it is 91 degrees today. So I run cold, but right around 90-ish, 92 degrees, I start to, that's my kind of my operational limit, so to speak. But my girlfriend makes fun of me all the time because like I'm cold and she's the BTU machine. But anyway, now that we got some people here, you guys can ask any questions as you want. We're just going to do a short live talk quickly about the video that I put out yesterday and what is associated with it, and where we are on that amicus brief. I saw Jared put out a video this morning, and I just didn't get around to it because I was really busy yesterday. But late yesterday, I got a call from Mr. Crump talking about what happened in the case. I'm still waiting on the transcript, and if there's anything juicy in the transcript, then I will obviously cover it. But what happened, for anybody who wasn't paying attention, is there was a gag order put on John Crump, and basically he had obtained some documents in the CRS case, the auto key card case. He had obtained some documents legally, and he was publishing them. And the attorney was like, "We don't want you to do that." And he's like, "I'm a journalist, and I have a First Amendment right to be able to publish them." So, some attorneys from GOA stepped in and asked several of us if we would like to sign on to an amicus brief detailing the First Amendment protections of the press as it relates to the modern era. It's no longer print. Mass media and mass communications through video are just as equivalent, if not more uh, important to protect than just standing on the street saying what it is that you want, because you have the ability to reach a larger proportion of people, and your right to draw attention to grievances with your government is so much more heightened now that we have mass media capabilities. So it is a pretty solid argument that the First Amendment covers your right to take a video device, record yourself, and publish it. And that's what the whole thing was really about. And the conclusion to that, again, when I get the transcript, I will share it with you guys. I may do a full video, but for now, this will serve. Uh, we win. They basically withdrew their motion because the judge, for as far as I understand it, I was not there. Basically, was like, "Why are we here? Are you trying to say that this isn't? Are you trying to create something out of this?" And the attorney was like, "No, yeah." So they pulled their motion. So that is a win. And I think it's important that we fight on instances like that because we cannot allow even little increments of infringement on any of our core constitutionally protected God-given and inalienable rights to be encroached on. And so that is why I signed on to the amicus brief that I did, because I'm not going to allow. Ooh, it's a good one. Yeah. Um, I will not allow that sort of thing to be encroached on my watch. So I was given an opportunity to sign it. I understand that there are good arguments for not signing on to that particular thing. I'm not going to name any names, but I got a call yesterday from a close friend who said that we actually had a long discussion about the tactics surrounding that whole thing and what our next steps were, not directly related to that incident, but similar instances in the future. And he just simply said, I didn't have time to read it. You know, he got the notification like an hour before. I actually got the notification a couple hours before, but I didn't see it until about 20 minutes before the deadline of submission. So I like speed read it really quick and looked at also who else was on it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of trust these guys that, you know, this is the right thing to do, even though I hadn't had time to read the entire document at that point in time. So I think it was a good call. But that is kind of the whole crux of the. Remember when I was talking about bikes earlier? Yeah. Somebody says they're craving a burger. I actually need to I need to go fill my propane, or yeah, my propane cylinder needs refilled because I was I was cooking steaks on it the other day and didn't quite make it through because I was a little bit low. I haven't changed it in like a year, so it's about time. And my parents gave me a half a beef for Christmas this year. We have, I don't know, I don't talk much about this, but we have a beef farm. It's kind of a hobby farm, but you know, we do raise some cattle, and they gave all of us, you know, children, I suppose, all of their children, a half a beef last year for Christmas, and I've been grilling a lot because of that. So, and especially when I walk through the meat section at the store and I look at it, I'm like, wow, that was a really good gift. When I look at the cost of meat these days, so um, I have been grilling a lot, and therefore I need to refill that thing for sure. But back to what we were talking about is the the thing with the amicus brief. I understand why certain people did not sign on, and I don't think. I guess what I really want to talk about today was I've seen a lot of vitriol on various places on the internet directed at people who do sort of what I do, right? Asking why it is that they didn't sign on. And to be completely honest, I think there's a very legitimate reason why probably many people did not sign the brief. And that is because they simply did not have time to read it. Um, I am very hesitant to sign things that I have not read. And like I said, in this instance, I basically looked at who else had had time to read it, more thoroughly than I did and made a judgment call based on what I saw on a cursory glance and had to go with my gut on it. So I understand why many perhaps did not sign and that sort of thing. So if there's any kind of personality out there that is driving division in our community over this signing the amicus brief or not signing the amicus brief, standing or whatever, um, I don't think that that's okay. It's really not okay, and you should think carefully about what kind of um, dog piles you hop on as it relates to impugning people who do this kind of work, right? They probably had a perfectly legitimate reason to not sign on. And chief among those is not having time to read the damn thing. Because while I did get it a few hours early, I didn't see it. And I know that many people had less than an hour to read it. So there are procedural issues that sometimes the sorry, I was reading a comment. Um, Sometimes there are procedural problems with various movements like this. And in this particular instance, the procedural issue was that the text of the amicus brief was not ready until like an hour or so for most people before the whole before it was submitted. You know, I signed the amicus brief at 4:50. It was submitted at 5 p.m. You know, I can certainly see where particularly some of our people were out traveling for various things, that they simply just did not pull over their car to read a document because they were on travel. And being a responsible adult and not driving while distracted is a good thing. So anybody who was on travel and couldn't read it, well, I think they've got a viable excuse. So before you read too far into the the what I'm going to say the small minority of people piling on people whose names did not appear on that document, I think is completely unfair. So uh, just need to not be divided on some of these. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am probably the king of being like, that brand is a traitor. Do not buy that brand, right? Like, I have been there, done that, and I understand when, having said that, on more than one occasion, I understand that for me to call for tolerance may not be the most congruent thing, but there is right and wrong. And in this instance, I think that the good people doing the good work should not be piled on or discredited for not signing on to something that they did not have time to properly vet. And that's really what I'll have to say about the whole amicus brief situation. Of course, you guys can find the full text of that. Um, I don't know. Did I publish that? I should probably publish that individually, but you can find it published to other places. Of course, there's a full video detailing what that whole thing was. You can find that on the top of the channel right now. And I guess that is all I really have to add about the movement to silence people who are making an impact. And I think that you're going to see more and more of this. In closing, I suppose I will say that you're going to see more and more of this as the collective of us consolidates more power, because you guys have put us where we are. You guys have given us such a powerful voice. You read that amicus brief. It quoted the numbers of I believe it was 17. It was either, I think it was 14 people. Now that I think about it, I can't remember because my brief wasn't quite complete when I did my video. They quoted the viewership numbers of of our collective capacity, and it dwarfed the top three news networks. Once that, it continues to march on. It continues to get stronger. Even now, I look at my YouTube analytics, and YouTube's been doing a whole bunch of stuff lately about removing people subscriptions and stuff like that. Like, I'm used to gathering about 1,500 subscribers monthly consistently for like the last several years. Like, that number is plus or minus 50, you know. I have good months, obviously, where I do much better, but never have I had a bad month. The last 2 months since I've started doing this kind of like activist uh, type thing, and I want to parse my words carefully here. uh, since I have started being more outspoken on those topics, I have seen those numbers. I saw it yesterday. It was 270 subscribers. 270. And here's the thing, the traffic is much higher, much higher. So that tells me that if the traffic is twice as high as what I normally get, people by and large have the same uh, or better, because you guys can't see the down votes, but I can. So I can see the percentage break. And I'm actually getting a higher percentage of thumbs up now than I was last year. You've got all these positive things, right? But the numbers, the subscription numbers are going down. That doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to close with today is that as we continue to consolidate more and more power, you're going to see little nitpicks like what happened in this situation with the CRS firearms case, tried to suppress those documents. And we have to stand collectively and fight against this. So thank you all for tuning in today, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the weekend. We got a fun video coming out for you guys tomorrow, so stick tuned. And how do I get out of this thing? Anyway, like that?